Okay, so we all have a spirit team, and that can consist of our guardian angel. Some people have more than one guardian angel. Usually, some of the archangels are on your team. There can be.
Hey, beautiful. Welcome to Naturally Empowered Living, your safe space to guiding you on your unapologetic self-awakening journey. This is your weekly sanctuary for waking up from autopilot and transforming the way you approach life through the power of meditation, energetics, and root cause therapy. It is my mission to help you heal unprocessed emotions and release stuck energies by alchemizing your struggle cycles into opportunities for deep self-love, awareness, trust, and connection, to return to your innate essence of being, stepping back into your energy of alignment. Because here, we honor all parts of ourselves, the messy and the magic, the shadows and the light, embodying all parts that make you, you. So if you are ready to get to the root of cultivating real change, get cozy, grab your journal and maybe favorite crystals, and let's discover our power within together. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Naturally Empowered Living podcast. This is your host, guide, and mentor in all things energetics, emotions, and self-awakening, Jenna Smith. And today, I am joined by, a dear friend, Justina Sharp, founder of Angel Reiki Journey. She is a Reiki Master Teacher, intuitive healer, spiritual guide, who I could say this by knowing her. She is just rooted in such divine love, angelic connection, and deep energetic transformation. She offers, we're only 6 hours apart. We actually just Googled this prior to recording. But she offers in-person sessions where she resides, and she also has virtual online sessions. And she helps people, women and men, clear emotional and energetic blocks, helping them reconnect with their inner light and step into their purpose and their power. So Justina, she blends Reiki, mediumship, intuitive messages, and just connecting to spirit teams and archangels and just really helping people guide them in their deep self-healing and empowerment. And this is something I want to actually ask you about, the sandwich generation, because she says that she has this special heart for those in that sandwich generation, those caregivers, those nurturing caregivers who often forget how to care for themselves. I've just never heard of that term. So, Justina, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I'm just so thankful that you're here.
Hello, Jenna. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. Jenna, by the way, is freaking amazing, which I'm sure you all know. And if you ever are considering getting a session with her, you need to just go ahead and book it because it's life changing and incredible. So, yeah, so sandwich generation, it is. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've been in it for about 80 years. And it's kind of where a lot of times you get into a spot where you've got your kids, you've got your parents, and maybe even your grandparents, and you're kind of somehow have been able to jump into this caregiver role, right, for everybody. And you end up doing things, obviously being a parent and a spouse, and then you are running around and trying to help your parents navigate a lot of times the health world, what the doctor's saying or what their medicines are about or that kind of thing. And then you've got your grandparents, which, maybe your own mom and dad are not really feeling like they have the energy to help the grandparents at this point because they're older too. So you're kind of that person taking care of them, and it just becomes a way of life. But then you end up realizing, oh crap, like, have I drank water today? Did I eat breakfast? All of these things that you start to kind of lose different parts of yourself. And it's not really to anybody's, that wasn't what was meant to happen. Obviously, nobody wished that to happen, but it gets it just happens, and a lot of times you're working a job, too. So I just like to remind people of, even when it feels like they're pouring out just constantly, that they have a whole spirit team that is pouring into them. So
Mm.
even though they may not see them or feel them yet, that they have got a whole slew of support surrounding them. And I like to remind them of that, and then infuse them with all kinds of energy so we can get their light back on and get them filled back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get their light back on. I love that. I just because I picture that, and I'm sure, I mean, within your Reiki sessions too, like you can see and feel and all these things. I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself though. So tell us, I just love to paint this picture. I mean, listeners of this show, granted, you and I have a dear connection, but tell us about you as far back as you want to go, as deep as you want to go, but just tell us a little bit about your personal story, what led you to Reiki and intuitive healing, and just all the things.
Yeah, so I have been a nurse for a little over 20 years, also a Reiki practitioner for over 20 years. And I remember being a kid, my grandmother actually used to take care of the elderly. She would help people out with their homes. She would help people get to doctor's appointments or help bathe them or that kind of stuff. And I would go with her all of the time. And I remember just being so excited because, of course, being a little girl that's like 5 years old, every time you come around these older people, they just think you're it, right? So, I mean, I loved it. Like they were like, "Oh, do you need a piece of candy?" I
Yeah.
do. And I would always win all the card games. Like I mean, I was the stuff when I
Yeah.
got but I also felt this like huge love inside of me grow every time I was around them. There was something I was always drawn to, the elderly and the babies.
Hmm.
And I thought this is kind of strange, but I would always get these vibes around people. I would feel like drawn to them, or I would feel like I need to step away from them, sort of thing. And until I got older, I started to realize that I just assumed everybody did that, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was 10, I had my grandpa was my best friend at the time. And I stayed at my grandparents' house frequently. That was very often. And he was just the coolest guy in the whole world. And of course, I was like everything when I was around him and got to get away with everything. Anyway, he, I had a dream, and in the dream, he was standing at the foot of my bed and he had a suit on. And my grandfather had been paralyzed from the waist down for before I was born after multiple strokes. So I never saw him like stand without holding on to something.
Mhm.
And I thought, that's strange. And I also never saw him in a suit. And I remember he's holding a baby and that there's a little corner of a white piece sticking out of his coat pocket. And I'm just so confused. And he said, "Hey, Wendy." He used to call me Wendy, like Wen goes between my ears, which is terrible. Now that I realize what that meant. Oh, he's lucky I loved him. Anyway, but he saw it as endearing. And he said, "I just want you to know that everything's going to be okay. And I love you." And I was like, "Well, of course, Grandpa. Like, I love you too. Like, you're the coolest person in the whole world. This is so
Mhm.
weird. What are you doing?" And I kept looking at the baby, and it was in a blue blanket. And I just thought, I guess it's a boy, but I don't know why you have a baby. Anyway, so the next morning, I wake up at my grandparents' house, and I running out to the car for my grandma because she went to get her hair fixed every Saturday. It was a thing, and I got to go with her and sit around all the old ladies. And so I'm getting some stuff out of the car for her, and he was on the riding lawnmower. He could pivot to get on and off, and he there was something wrong with it, so he had maneuvered himself on and off like 3 times. Anyway, I ran in to get grandma and told her, "Hey, grandpa said something's wrong with the lawnmower." I run up with her, and this is like the third time he's getting off, right? And as he goes to get off, he's on all fours on the grass and he instantly turned purple. And I remember that moment so well, which, it was just like yesterday, right? Like I'm only like 20 now, right? Anyway, no, it was a really long time ago. And there was a part of my soul that knew he was gone, but I was not interested in that. And long story short, he did pass away. Now, I was brought up Catholic as well, and I had many, many beautiful things that came out of growing up Catholic, like learning about the angels and the saints, and so many things that I still use today. But I did have this huge feeling of guilt for damn near everything. And I started to think, later that afternoon, oh my gosh, did I do this somehow? Because he came to me the night before. Like,
Mhm.
how did, oh my gosh, did I do that? Like, I was like, I think I killed grandpa. Like, I mean, all of these things started
Wow.
going on in my head. And so for a year, I carried that and didn't tell anybody. I was terrified. I was sick constantly. Finally, I went and told my grandmother that she needed to call the police and I probably needed to go to jail. And she's like, oh my gosh, what did you do? And I said, well, I think I killed grandpa. And she's like, what? I was standing there with you. What are you talking about? And
Yeah.
so I told her, I said, well, he came to me in this dream and blah, 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 blah. And she said, oh my gosh. And as a parent now, I'm like, oh
Chills.
my gosh, if one of my kids
Mhm.
thought that for a year, I would, oh, it was heavy. And she said, no, 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 no. She said, you remind me a lot of your great grandma who had Cherokee Indian in her. And she would have dreams and premonitions and she would have feelings and you talk like her. Um, so anyway, I thought, oh my gosh, there's another person like that has stuff like this happen. And she didn't kill anybody. Like it was like, it's okay. And so my grandma instantly at that very moment, we had a connection that lived still to this day as she's crossed over and she's just incredible. So
Yeah.
anyway, fast forward throughout high school, I'd get woke up in the middle of the night, like, hey, you got to call so and so, you got to call so and so. And I just figured I'm just being a good friend, that's why I have to do it. And I would call and somebody would be in a domestic situation, somebody would be in um, heartbroken, or there was always a reason. And they would be like, it's so weird, you're calling me. So fast forward the 20s, and I was introduced to Reiki and ended up training for it. And then the first session that right after training, the first time I practiced, I saw a person from World War I standing at the foot of the bed of the lady I was doing Reiki on. And I was like, that person is not physical. I was just like, wait a minute. And I instantly was like, oh gosh, la la la. I'm like looking around and there was a lady there that was like, you saw him, didn't you? And I'm like, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. And but anyway, so fast forward, lots more people from the other side started showing up, and it has just been a roller coaster. Went through a little period where I shut my heart down because of life. And anytime we shut our heart down, that does decrease our ability to communicate to the other side a lot. So once I got that back open again, then it just exploded. And the angels and past loved ones and spirit guides and so many beautiful experiences. And that great great grandmother actually came to me in a meditation later on too. I never met her in real life, so to speak,
Yeah.
um, and was just like, "Hey, I'm here for you. I got you." And it's been an interesting journey. That was kind of a long explanation,
No,
but
but I love hearing it. And I mean, I didn't even know all of that. So I love hearing everyone's stories because we all come from different walks of life and have different experiences. And it brings that connection to light, and for me even, and I know you. So now just imagine these listeners, just to be able to have that connection. So thank you for going there.
yeah, absolutely.
So let's dive into like, gosh, there's so much that I want to unpack, but you teach, Usui Holy Fire Reiki. Okay. There's
Hmm.
so many different types of Reiki. That's where I was like, okay, like
There is.
talk to me a little bit about, because level one through master, like you are level one, level two, master. Tell
Hmm.
me, you don't need to tell me like differences between other Reiki, but just talk to us a little bit about like this style, this modality of Reiki.
So Usui Reiki originated in Japan um, many years ago, and that is probably more of the traditional Reiki where the symbols come in and that kind of thing, and you get more symbols as you progress through the training. And the symbols are to magnify the energy frequency. holy fire came in from William Rand, I believe in the 90s, and he channeled this holy fire energy, and it's almost become more of a accessible form of holy fire and of Reiki energy, sorry. And the holy fire symbol also is an amplification of energy. And I call my business Angel Reiki Journey because the angels have helped me so much
Mhm.
whew, throughout everything. I am a Christian as well. I do believe in Jesus. I talk to Jesus on the daily. I talk to angels on the daily. I talk to spirit guides on the daily. I've talked to Buddha. Like it is incredible what we have access to. And when we learn more about these different modalities, these energy healing modalities, we also invite the masters of that, like Master Usui, into that. There's Takata Sensei, who is a lady that also taught Reiki and implemented some of her own forms of symbols and things like that. So it it's kind of, I feel like with our world right now, the way that, I'm sure you've heard of like different changes in frequencies and different dimensions and things like that. I feel like several of us are becoming more open and accessible to learning and absorbing these energy healing modalities and realizing that, we don't always have to jump directly to medication to help someone, that we have a lot of different modalities that we can try first or along with or after or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, and the nursing part of it that has come in has been amazing for me, because what happens now is a lot of times I see in my mind's eye different areas of inflammation. Like there's a guy that has ulcerative colitis that I had seen for a while, and in his colon, his intestines, like I would see in my mind's eye all of this inflammation. And I love anatomy and physiology, so that's probably helpful too. But an Archangel Michael would come in and assist with removing this inflammation, and Archangel Raphael comes in with healing, and he brings in stem cell energy too. And there's so many amazing things that take place. But this gentleman in particular was able to decrease his steroid intake by half, which is his immunosuppressants that people with those kinds of things typically take in order to help the amount of inflammation that they have, right? So really, I love to teach it, because when you undergo learning in any of these kinds of modalities, you receive a healing just in your learning.
Mhm.
And I feel like sometimes people don't understand that. Sometimes I'll tell my people when I do level 1 and 2, I do it together and I do it on a weekend. And I'll say, listen, don't like plan anything Saturday evening or Sunday evening. Like you need to be able to like relax and absorb and allow your body to start to integrate. And they'll be like, well, I've got, a wedding reception, and I've got, I was going to go to the bar with some friends, and I was going to do this, and I'm going to go home and mow the lawn. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the best idea. I think you might be tired,
Yeah.
because it opens up all of these stored emotions, and stored emotions start to build disease, quite frankly, and inflammation. And when we're able to get all of that moving and removed, it's incredible what's waiting for you underneath all of that. So,
Yeah. Oh, I love how you brought in like that science approach, the Western medicine approach too, because I remember you and I were in a form of Reiki certification together
mhm.
a few years ago, a couple years ago, and I remember we were on a Zoom call, with the whole class or whatever, and you were talking about your a nursing, we were at work one day and you're like, and then the doctors brought up palliative care and brought up how Reiki, and there was like this whole new like, oh, can Reiki assist in, palliative care and with patients? And I just remember seeing I'm like getting all excited. I remember seeing your like excitement and I was like, I like this one. Like I like that. Because I mean, I come from, an oncology background, and I mean, I wasn't in the energy healing Reiki space yet. I needed to be slapped in the face a few more times to truly wake up and to the whole picture. And it was just so, I'm like, I need to get to know her a little bit more because I love how you work in, an RN or, nursing space. And you're like, hey, like they can work together. It can work together. So I love that.
Oh, it's incredible. And I feel like with hospice patients, it is phenomenal because when we are in the process of dying, sometimes what happens is our body, our physical body starts to concentrate on our internal organs, right? So we decrease some of our circulation as we're going. The body is preparing, it knows what to do. But also, what happens sometimes is people that have extreme pain, people that have bone cancer or other things like that, is that even though you increase the dosages of medication, they don't always help the pain.
Right.
Yes, they will maybe eventually stop you from breathing, but they don't always help the pain. And Reiki energy can help the pain.
Mhm.
There's one lady that oh my gosh, I've had so many beautiful experiences with hospice patients, but this one in particular, she was about like 74 pounds, I think, and she had bone cancer, incredibly uncomfortable. And when I would go to her house, I would literally pick her up and I would sit in her rocking recliner and I would just hold her, rock her, and I would just give her Reiki. And they would always be like, what are you doing? What kind of weird stuff are you doing? And I'm like, it's okay. She's just sleeping. We're all right, and she would be like, don't leave,
Mhm.
and then I would just ask the angels as I was leaving, to continue to work on her that night, allow her to have a good night of sleep and that kind of thing. But if you get an opportunity to relieve someone's pain, why would you not take that?
I know. I know.
It's the coolest feeling in the world. Like, you're just like, yes,
Hmm.
yes, that's what we're here for. Like, we're supposed to allow our lights to shine
Hmm.
in order for other people to see it,
Yeah.
right? Like, in order for other people to feel it.
Hmm.
It's so important. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna butcher this. I mean, I read this in so many different capacities between education and just, my own Google rabbit holes and things like that. But in being that healer and holding that space, it's not necessarily, I mean, it's not at all our jobs to do the healing. We are holding,
Correct.
yeah, we are holding that frequency. Oh, I just
Hmm.
got chills for the recipient to receive it and then let it be if they receive whatever capacity, you're doing your healing work, they're receiving messages themselves. They're receiving, that clarity or that intuition or the actual pain management. They're receiving what they need. And you are just that channel and that vessel. And I mean, it just took that imposter syndrome for me personally. It was like,
Yes,
but it's not
because
our
you
job.
aren't the one doing it.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. Exactly. And
yes.
I just felt called to share that because it is so, so powerful that why wouldn't we, if we were in that healing space. So
Hmm.
talk to us a little bit about your sessions. Now you teach Reiki, you teach the attunements, but within a session for yourself with and someone else, you're delivering Angel Reiki. How do sessions work? Kind of what shifts have you seen within your clients, if you will, and just those transitions.
Yes, absolutely. Um, so, okay, I do Zoom and in-person sessions, and what we start out with is usually I talk to you for a few minutes, kind of ask you, if you've had a Reiki session before, let you know that sometimes during a session you may feel queasy, you may have a headache, your stomach will most likely growl or gurgle, or it's all good. Like, it's all good. For one, I'm a nurse. Like, I've heard it all, trust me.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, like, this is a space for you to really allow yourself to release anything, right? And if you have these moments of nausea or headache or anything like that, I ask you just take a couple deep breaths and help move the energy, because that's what's happening is it's just starting to release some energy that no longer serves you. And sometimes when we've held on to things for so long, our body's not so eager to
Yeah.
release it, right? It's like, no, keep it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get comfortable in our discomfort, right? So then what we start with is, if you're at home, I just ask you to wear comfy clothes, same in person. If you're at home, a comfy place to lay, whether you're in a recliner, on your bed, or wherever. You can sit up if you want to, but just make sure there's stuff around you so you don't like fall over and hit the ground. Because sometimes you do get a little sleepy. Sometimes people do fall asleep. And I let people know that your soul always knows what to do.
Yeah.
So even if you don't feel like you felt anything, your soul is receiving a healing, right? And I used to get really nervous before sessions because I'd be like, oh my gosh, what if they don't feel da 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 da? And what if I don't do this? And what if I don't do, and Spirit was like, hey, not about you. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Okay. But then I have you lay down. We turn the lights down. I usually have music playing. Um, and we do a meditation to start with. It's a grounding meditation. Basically, we're just kind of locking you in. So during this session, you don't fly off into the ethers completely. And after the meditation, then I start going through the different chakra areas. And I usually start the soul star chakra, which is above the crown. I go into the crown, the third eye, the throat, and all of these different chakras carry different energies. And often you find different things in them, like the throat, for instance. A lot of times I find in women, and it's moments where we've swallowed our own words, our own thoughts, our own truths, our yes, of course I would love to do that for you. Uh-huh. And everyone else and the whole world. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any needs. Yeah. That kind of thing. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. So we work on clearing that out. We go to the heart chakra, we go to the solar plexus, the sacral, the root. We work through all of them. And the purpose is we're restoring flow, first of all, because they're always supposed to be flowing. And then we get down to Mother Earth. Archangel Michael opens the bottoms of the feet energetically and allows the white and golden heavenly energy from the highest heaven flow down through all of the chakras and pushing any pieces of stagnant, no longer serving you energy out the bottoms of the feet as it continues to pour down. Mother Earth opens her arms wide. She pulls all of that deep in there. She transmutes it. She recycles it. She makes it good as new. And then she reaches below her crystal core, sends up her grounding energy to the highest heaven. They start to dance, and then they work up and down, and we've restored heaven to earth. And it's incredible. And then we slowly kind of bring you back, and I tell you to drink plenty of water, to eat some alive foods, meaning that have grown.
Yeah.
And then I give you a little card that talks about, or we talk about, things that you may have, usually about 3 days. You may have moments where you're emotional. I tell people to tell their spouse, like, hey, if I bite your head off, like, I love you, just releasing. And to just be really graceful with yourself, to know that you're okay. Sometimes people will have diarrhea or something like that, but it's just a form of releasing, another way of letting go, right? And so there's a little boy, sorry, that keeps coming in. He's he came in my sessions before, and he is incredible. And his mom came to me as a client, and I've had a lot more grieving parents that I've seen recently. And this little boy at the end of the session really made, he's telling me to tell you, so really made my heart sing, and just reminded me of why I'm here. Because at the end of the session, he just leaned over and he just kind of hugged me, and he just said, thank you for turning my mommy's light back on. And whew,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to mention that children on the other side are so incredible. They're so, not that adults aren't, but they're so team oriented. They are forever tagging each other and like, hey, mom's going to the grocery store today. All right, who are we going to line up that she's going to bump into? How are we going to bring mom joy today? Or how are we going to bring dad? Or how are we going to, remind my sister of this? And they have all of, and I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. They have all of these incredible ways that they reach out and let you know how much you mean to them and how grateful they are for the time that they did have with you and that they will see you again. And it's just, it's just incredible.
Yeah. Oh, let's bridge this a little bit because you mentioned at the beginning of this recording that you remind people, that they are always supported, always loved by their spirit team. And so someone new to this concept, what does it mean to have a spirit team?
Okay, so we all have a spirit team, and that can consist of our guardian angel. Some people have more than one guardian angel. Usually, some of the archangels are on your team. There can be previous masters, like for my team, for instance, like I have Mother Teresa is on my team, and Mother Mary is often on, and they can change, right? So I find the more sessions I do, I end up like meeting new spirit guides, new masters, new, sometimes there's saints that come in, and things like that, and past loved ones.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's from past lives. Like there's one lady that I do sessions on, and every time there is like an army, like, I mean, of Native American tribes, and there's more than one. Like I think it's like Cherokee and Blackfoot, I want to say, are the two that come, and it is, and they just go back and back and back and back. Like
Yeah.
there's so many. Um, and so it is different and individualized for each one. And you can always call in people,
Yeah.
and they're waiting. Like, so your spirit team is like standing next to you, like, hey, 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 call on me, call on me. Like, I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to help you. And my spirit team likes to be real cute and remind me, like, when I start to get all in my head about things and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know about this and da da da, da and I don't know what I'm gonna do about that and da da, da, and all of a sudden my spirit team will be like, hey, hello, hey, did you ask? Did you ask for help? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, did you ask anything? Did you reach out? And I'm like, oh, no. And they're like, okay, well, whenever you're done doing this,
I'm
if you
crying.
want to ask us for help, we'll be happy to hook you up. But I mean, if you want to just keep doing this too, that's, I mean, it's cool. We'll hang out till you're ready.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so true though. I remember, oh my gosh, there's just so many moments that I also resonate with that, where it's like, hey, did you take that pause yet? And actually just take
Right,
time to
right.
connect back. And it's like, ooh, step one, step zero, actually, step zero. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, just, just thank you. I mean, thank you so much for all the work that you do and for the light that you share and turn back on. And I just love that, turning your light back on. So share with us how can we support you? Where can we find you? And obviously we know a couple of the services that you offer. So just tell us about your business now.
Yeah. So my website is angelreikijourney.com. My Instagram is at Angel Reiki Journey. My email is Justina, Justina, at angelreikijourney.com. And I just officially opened my YouTube page that Spirit made me create in 2012, called The Journey to Becoming Me. And boy, has it been a journey. Does it continue to be? And so all of my podcasts, which is the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast, it's on Apple, Spotify, and like a million other platforms. But I have uploaded those podcasts to the YouTube page, and I think that's most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on Instagram is where typically I advertise, like when I'm teaching the classes and that kind of thing. I will be teaching an online Usui Holy Fire Reiki class in the fall at some point, and then I try to do a newsletter once a month. And if you want to sign up for that, you can sign up for that on the website too. Just scroll down and fill out your information. I don't spam you, like, quite frankly, I don't have time to spam, but but I do try to send like once a month, and then if there's like some big event coming up, then I try to let people know. So yeah.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much. I will link all of that in the show notes for our dear listeners. And thank you again just for holding space and being here and sharing that energy within us today.
Thank you, Jenna. I love you so much.
Love you. All right. Until next week, our dear listeners, as always, simply be you. You have everything inside of you to learn your energy of alignment and be unapologetic in who you are. We're sending our love and so much light.
Did you find this episode freeing or empowering? Please read my review. Tickle, 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 boop.
Thank you for spending this sacred time with me on Naturally Empowered Living. If this episode brought you closer to stepping into your energy of alignment, I'd love for you to leave a written review and share how this show has supported your journey. Your feedback truly lights me up and helps others find the space of transformation. And sharing it with someone who might need it spreads the ripple of healing even further. Be sure to check the show notes for ways to connect with me and explore personalized healing sessions and mentorships to deepen your self-awakening journey. Thank you. I appreciate all you are and all you do.